Hello!
And welcome back. We're already up to week 15. This season is flying by of the NFL. And first, I just want to get started. Last week, an exciting week in the NFL.
And the predictions,
NFL,
Benny made a big comeback.
I want to point out that I went
10-3,
while Dad went 6-7. Actually, I went 11-3. Dad went 7-7, as we both predicted Somers, who won the state championship.
NFL predictions, but okay.
Who won the state championship, 51-27. So great experience. I got to call that game from the booth at the Dome. It was a really cool experience.
It was awesome.
Haven't checked it out yet, please go check it out. It's on the Soma Sports Podcast on YouTube. But let's get started. Thursday Night Football. We have two teams that basically must wins for both of them, especially for the 49ers, who sit at 6-7, taking on the Rams, who had an impressive win against the Bills last week, 44-42. They surprised most people. That was a shootout game, and now 49ers basically suffering all the injuries, taking on the Rams. But I think the 49ers are going to play them tough here. The Rams did beat them early in the season, but before that, it's been all 49ers for like years, winning in their matchups. But this is a tough one. It could be either or. I think there's going to be some more points due to all the injuries. There's going to be more points on the scoreboard in this one. But I think it's going to be... I think I'm still going to go Rams. I think the Rams are playing to win. The 49ers season seems over. Rams still have most of their starters in compared to the 49ers currently. So I think the Rams are going to take this one 28-21.
I think the Rams looked awesome in their win against the Bills. And I think that momentum is on their side, and I think it continues. And the Rams take San Francisco down at home, in San Francisco, that is, 31-17.
All right. So next up, now on to the 1 o'clock games. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars and Mac Jones taking on the New York Jets, who just
They
this
lost a
season's
close
been
one.
horrible.
Yeah, it's been
They
a close
lost.
one, but they lost a close one in Miami.
Another heartbreaker, to Miami. Now they got Mac Jones and the Jaguars.
Yes, they do.
And I think Jaguars are so bad. I think it's time to give the Jets another win. It's gonna be an ugly, boring game in this one. Both 3-10 teams trying to tank at this point for a top draft pick, but I think Jets are gonna get it done. Jets don't have the best defense, so
They were supposed to, though.
yeah, they were, but they have not. So actually, I'm gonna give the Jaguars 13. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets offense finally show who they really are in this game only, to win 31-13.
I think Aaron Rodgers needs to prove himself, which is crazy because he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But he has to prove himself to the rest of the league that he can still do it, and I think he's going to take this opportunity to show that. And I think he gets it done without a problem. And the Jets take this one 28-10.
All right, so now we have another very uneven matchup. We have Drew Lock, or maybe Tommy DeVito if he comes back, and the New York Giants taking on the Baltimore Ravens, who I
think the Ravens are favored by like 2 touchdowns or something like that, which is almost unheard of.
Yeah, they're coming off a bye. So
yeah,
Ravens taking on the Giants. I think it's not going to even be close. Yes, but that's what I was going to say. I think Ravens march out to a big lead. I think maybe Giants go up 3-0, but then it's ugly from there forth. It's going to be 35-3 early in the third quarter. It's just going to be ugly. I'm going to give the Ravens, this is the game I think they go off. Ravens, I'm going to say Ravens win at 42. The Giants 6.
I like the Ravens here. I don't think maybe they do go nutty in the scoring. But I think at some point they'll just ground and pound on the ground, running the ball. But who knows? You never know with the Ravens. They could do whatever. But yeah, there's not even a question that they're going to get this victory, even though it's on the road in New York. I'm going to go Baltimore 34, Giants 10.
So next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Carolina Panthers.
Cowboys almost just beat the
Bengals, and
but the Bengals came back and won it.
Panthers, another close matchup against a top team in the NFL this week, the Eagles. Probably could have very much won that game, but at the end it was the Eagles and Saquon who showed up. But this one, I think the Panthers have been preparing for this, waiting for a win, playing great football. The Cowboys are going to play them tough. But I think the Panthers get it done. And see the Cowboys pulling out to a lead. The Panthers coming back, making it exciting. And I think the Panthers are going to take this one 26-16.
Okay. I think this game could go either way. I do think Dallas has something to prove, as do the Panthers. But I think ultimately it's the Cowboys that come out on top of this one, 24-21 over the Panthers.
And next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Browns. Another close win, where the Chiefs kicked another game-winning field goal against the Chargers. You noticed how I said another. This is the third, I think at least the third match. Well, that's how
they
won
can't
the
lose
game.
the damn Chiefs.
Yeah, they win by game-winning field goals, but all their games are close. And they're 12-1. 10 of their matchups have been one-score games.
Crazy.
Unheard of, especially for a defending Super Bowl champion. And I see the same thing here. I think Jameis Winston and the Browns are gonna play them tough.
I do too.
But the Chiefs are gonna
find a way to get a win.
Winning field goal as time expires. Won't be 19-17 like the last 2 weeks, but it's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna say Chiefs are gonna win it 22-20.
I agree. It's probably gonna be. It's hard to pick KC at 12-1 over the Cleveland Browns, who are coming in at 3-10.
It's hard to pick the Chiefs over the Browns.
It's hard not to pick them. Sorry. And I do think Cleveland actually, they beat Pittsburgh or Baltimore?
Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
And Baltimore. It's impressive. Like, if anyone could do it, of the crap teams, they're the ones. The only issue with Cleveland is that Jameis Winston is starting, and he's awesome. He's a deep threat, but he just throws too many picks. And I think that's going to be the downfall, and that's going to lead to a Kansas City win, 23-21.
There it is, folks.
Yeah. It only took 5 games to pull it out.
Proud of him. It took 5 games. All right. So next up, another exciting matchup. We have the Dolphins taking on the Texans.
Indeed.
Dolphins trying
are on a run.
Get back into the playoff race, sitting at 6-7. The Texans haven't been playing.
Still in it, right?
Yeah. Texans have not been playing the best, and with only a few more losses, the Colts are gonna be right up there with them, competing for the division. And how the Texans have been playing, I think they're going to compete, but I think the Dolphins have been playing much better football recently, and the Dolphins are just going to come into this game, show the Texans who's boss. Honestly, I think the Dolphins are going to wind up, after a close win against the Jets, I think they're going to more dominate in this one. And the Dolphins are going to beat the Strouds 30.
The Strouds?
Yeah, the Texans, Strouds, 30-13.
Wow. It's not even going to be close.
Yeah.
How's a muzza? I don't think so. I think the Texans are going to find a way to... I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a close, tight game, and I think it's going to come right down to the end, but I think that the Texans need the wins, and Miami's been on a little run lately, and I think we're going to dampen the parade of Miami having the playoff hopes. I'm excited about Mixon and Collins, and and they're both Studley, and I see Stroud bouncing back here. I'm gonna go Houston 33 to Miami 30.
Oh,
In a close one.
game. So
Yeah.
now we have the Commanders taking on the Saints.
Saints.
Who, with their new interim head coach, have been 3-1. However, Derek Carr out likely for the season.
Taysom Hill out for the season. Olave is out. They're all out, right?
It's just too late for the Saints. Like they
Yeah,
looked
there's no
like
hope.
finding their coach gave them some hope, but it's just they're too damaged at this point. It's too little to recover. I think since they did fire, whatever his name is, it's gonna help them, but it's just too late. Dan Quinn and the Commanders are gonna come into this game with a game plan. I think it's gonna be similar to the Commanders Titans game a few weeks ago. I think actually the Saints surprised everyone and go up 7-0, and then that's all they do. And the Commanders take this one 34-7.
Yeah, I like the Commanders here too. It shouldn't even be that close. It should be a washout, and I'm seeing some points on the board, 42-14.
Alright, and next up we have the Bengals and the Titans. The Titans coach used to be the offensive coordinator for the Bengals, so exciting matchup. And
All right.
I think Bengals
In the Burrow era?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Burrow era. Bengals coming off a win against the Cowboys, still nicknamed the unluckiest team all year. They have like one of the best offensive.
They did just get a win.
Offenses.
They lead all the categories, like all the passings, everything.
However,
Between Burrow and Chase,
since their former offensive coordinator now coaches for the Titans,
they're still technically in the playoff hunt, right?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
It's gonna be a
unlikely. They have to win out first off, and then we discuss from there. But Titans are gonna come to play, and the offensive coordinator knowing the Bengals offense well, it's gonna make it tougher. I think the Titans play them tough, possibly a 6-7 game at halftime. Bengals only up by 1, a surprise, and then the Titans go up, make it 13-7. Going into the fourth quarter, and then the Bengals finally figure it out, get a touchdown to make it 14-13, pull ahead and make it 21-13. But then the Titans get a touchdown, go for 2, and it's no good. So the Bengals are gonna take, and then there's a flag. You thought it was nothing.
No,
then they throw,
I knew you were gonna go on forever. Don't worry.
And then they get it with the Bengals' bad luck, so we're tied at 21 and going into overtime.
Are you writing all this down?
But luckily, Titans of course get the ball, they drive down, fumble it. Bengals defense show up, they're able to get down the field, kick a game-winning field goal.
Wow!
To win 24-21 in overtime.
Wow! How do you like that? I don't think that's going to happen, but I respect your very detailed prediction. I see Cincinnati. They got momentum. They're feeling it. They're going to take care of Tennessee without too much trouble. I do think Tennessee gets some points because Cincinnati's defense is kind of not so great. Actually, kind of crappy. I'm going to give Tennessee 24 points. But Cincinnati's going to put up more. I'm going to give them 34 points.
All right, so next up, we're on to our 4 o'clock games. And our first 4 o'clock games, we're going to start off with a not as exciting. We've got a lot of good 4 o'clock games.
I don't know, man. I think this game could be quite the exciting game.
But yeah, it should be exciting.
Actually,
we have the 3-10 New England Patriots coming off their bye week,
doing the bottom one.
taking on the Arizona Cardinals.
Still, yeah, you never know. I think we'll play them tough.
After winning, I think it was 4 games in a row, have lost 3, and
I think that ends here.
Are just falling apart. I don't know what's going on with the Cardinals, but this is a must-win for them. I think it does end here, and I think I think the Patriots play them tough. I think Patriots up 17-7 at one point, but the Cardinals come back, tie at 17, kick the game-winning field goal as time expires to win 20-17.
Wow. I have a feeling the Cardinals are going to win this game, but just to be
Patriots fan.
the Patriots fan and to fight you a little bit on the standings, I'm going to go with New England on the victory here with Drake May showing up and getting it done 20-17 over the Cardinals.
Regional score.
Yes.
So
just came to me out of the blue.
Now we have the Indianapolis Colts.
This is a game I thought you were talking about.
To get into the playoffs, taking on the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
So this one should be a good one.
This should be a really
Colts
good one.
fighting again. The playoffs, Broncos, they have the same record as the Ravens and the Chargers. I know they haven't played as well as them. They have played impressive. Ravens. So the Broncos are very much in the playoffs, but the Colts fighting to get back in the race, compete for the division with the Texans. I think that's basically the Colts' path into the playoffs at this point. But I just feel like both teams are going to come out to play. It's going to come down two great defenses, two pretty good offenses, and I'm actually going to go on a limb here. I think it's going to be a weird score game, but it's going to be, I think, the Colts who get it done 26-18 against the Broncos in a surprise victory.
Man, the Broncos have really been a pleasant surprise this year, and Indianapolis somehow finds ways to win, even though they kind of stink.
Yeah, they do.
But after benching Richardson, he's kind of come back with a little bit of a vengeance, and he's doing a lot better. I don't think that they're going to be able to do much through the air, but I think that Richardson running the ball is going to make a difference. But it's not going to make enough of a difference to beat the Broncos at home. And I think they're going to fall short in another closey. 21 for Indy to 23 for Denver.
All right. So now we have a prime matchup of the week, the Battle of Pennsylvania. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at 10-3, taking on the 11-2 Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, man, the 4 o'clock games are stellar this week.
This game should be a good one, but damn, thinking of these two teams, the Eagles have some key parts of the team. Key parts that the Steelers don't have, and I just feel like in this matchup, I feel like the Eagles, they just take control of the game early. They could pull away, and that is what I see happening here. I think the Steelers make it exciting in the beginning, but I think the Eagles are going to wind up taking this one, continuing great football they've been playing. Not as high scoring as I just probably made it sound, but I think the Eagles take this one 28. Steelers make it a bit closer at the end, making a one-score game, but Eagles dominate most of the day, so Eagles win 28-20.
I think that would be considered pretty high scoring, no?
Yeah. Well, it's like 28-10. Steelers try to do a comeback at the end.
I see. This is going to be a good game. I'm excited for this one. Pittsburgh's going to come to play, and they're going to play him tough. But Philadelphia is also going to play tough right back at home. And both teams are good. I think that it's going to be limiting in terms of how much points get put on the board. But I ultimately see the Eagles coming out on top. 19-13.
Interesting. All right. And now this should be the prime offensive game of the week. We have the Detroit Lions sitting at 12-1, taking on the Buffalo Bills, coming off a loss against the Rams at 10-3. This could be a Super Bowl preview, hopefully.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
If this actually is a Super Bowl, that would be one of the best things ever.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Too good to be true. But two great offenses, all right defenses. But when two great offensive play each other, it's usually the defenses that show up a bit, and then the offenses show up as the game goes on more. So I think first half, so I see the Bills, I think, pulling ahead 7-0, Lions making it 7-3. That's your first quarter. Lions pull ahead at 10-3, making it 10-7, then making it 17-7. Up by 10, the Bills get a touchdown, and then so it's 17-14 at half. So a little offensive. The Lions take 24-14 lead. The Bills get 2 unanswered touchdowns to go up 28-24. Exciting game. Then the Lions, Montgomery gets a touchdown to make it a 31-28 game. Bills get another touchdown, make it 35-31. And then the Lions get a touchdown, make it 38-35. Bills tie at 38. We've got overtime, folks. So in overtime, Bills get the ball, drive down the field. Bills win 44.
Wow.
After last week, rebounding from last week to win 44-38.
Wow.
And what I think will be the game of the year.
In OT.
In OT.
Wow. How do you like that? Could you imagine if what you just predicted came out? Like, you'd get in trouble for scripting the NFL.
I would, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be
I
something.
know.
How precise your picks are.
Yeah, so now I want to hear your precise
Yeah,
picks.
not me. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to pick a score and a team. I think this is going to be a fantastic game that's going to come right down to the end of regulation, not overtime. And I think Detroit's going to get it done at home. And I think Detroit is going to finish this one on top 33-30.
Another 33-30 game
Another
this week.
33-30.
So now on to Sunday Night Football. We have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Packers. The Packers are coming off a loss against the Lions last week in Thursday Night Football. Seahawks have so much momentum coming into this game, winning 4 in a row, and I think both these teams are going to come to play, but I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be the team that has the momentum and has been playing the better football as of lately. I know Packers, personally, I do think they are the better team, but I just think the Seahawks have been playing the better football recently, and I think they just are able to go out there, know what to do, and get it done, and they have a good game plan going with their first-year head coach, and I see the Seahawks pulling it off. I think the Packers are going to give them a fight, but I think the Seahawks they're gonna win it, and they're gonna win a close one. So Seahawks are gonna take this 23-20, and I actually think the Seahawks are gonna be dominating most of the night. Packers make it look closer at the end.
I think the Seahawks at home dismantle the Green Bay Packers in another close one. So maybe they don't dismantle them, but they win a tight one. 24-21.
So next up, we have doubleheader on Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football
Let's
time
get started. We have the 11-2 Minnesota Vikings.
How about that?
Sitting at 11-2 with Sam coming off a win against the Falcons, who also play on Monday Night Football. Sam Darnold threw for 5 touchdowns. 3 were to Jordan Addison. 2 were to Justin Jefferson in that game. And they take on the Chicago Bears, which since that Jaden Daniels Hail Mary, when they were 4-2,
right?
in
How
that
about
game,
that?
they have
Everything turned around.
lost every game since. It's been a downward spiral for them since then.
And one of their defensive players was like taunting the crowd. I remember it was like a big news story and how they got burned, and oh man, he feels bad now, I bet.
It's just a shame to see what's happened to this Bears team, and I think they do still have what it takes to eventually be a good team, but I don't think that will be this season. Maybe get one more win this season, if depending on who they play. But I think it's maybe not, Aaron. But I think it's gonna be the Vikings who get it done here easily, getting their 12th win of the year. I think the Bears are gonna make it a bit closer, but at the end. But it's gonna be Vikings taking this one 24-13.
I like the Minnesota Vikings as well in this one. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think that Chicago puts up 14 points, and I think Minnesota puts up 25.
Weird score. And now our final game of the week, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Raiders. Raiders have just continued not play the best football. It's just been a rough year for them. They now have, it's actually Desmond Ritter, I think, projected to start for this game due to losing Minshew and O'Connell due to injury, and a revenge game against the Falcons. However, I think Falcons have lost. They were 5-2. Now they're 6-7. So they've had a rough go of things as well. But I just think Falcons need this win. They're gonna be able to get it done. The Raiders, it's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be not the excitingest one, but it's gonna be a close one. I actually see this one tied at 16. Put it into overtime. The Falcon takes them overtime to get the game-winning touchdown win, 22-16.
In OT, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Atlanta should be able to handle the Raiders pretty easily, even though they're on the road. As they continue to make their push for the playoffs, which ultimately I think they'll fall short of.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll have any problems taking care of the Raiders. I'm gonna go Atlanta 28, Vegas 10.
All right, folks. So that is our week.
There you have it.
Week 15 predictions. So
Yeah.
if you guys have predictions you want to share, comment them below. I'd like to
Yeah.
see them. Want to see what
We'd
you
love to
guys
hear 'em.
think. And yeah, so
And don't worry, the awesome attire will be back this season. You do not fret.
yep.
I know everyone's
Fidget
wondering.
Spinner Fan Club. Shout out to you. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically it. I just want to note that for my fantasy leagues, number 1 seed,
Woo!
basically the 4 seeds that 4 leagues that I'm in to compete. So
Well done.
yep, number 1
I taught him
seed.
everything he knows.
Yeah. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Benny, this is my dad. See you next week.